like to come to Major Shah right now. Pakistan is, of course, reeling under a major economic crisis. It's also reeling under a political crisis. And as Dr. Kohli had said earlier, it seems unlikely that they will make cuts to their defense budget, which stands at about 15.5% of their entire budget. What do you make of all of this? And of course, as Pakistan is reeling under a double whammy, even if they don't cut the defense budget, how do you think this will impact the lives of the common citizens of Pakistan?
Okay, that's a very, very good question, Priya, and I must compliment the very wise words by my dear friend Dr. Sharat Kohli over here. Absolutely, and he very aptly and very correctly mentioned in terms in inverted commas bluff. Yes, Pakistan has been bluffing IMF for a very, very long time, and imagine taking a loan from IMF over 22, 23 times and then still yet going and begging for loans. And Pakistan had joined IMF in 1950 because of the nature of the exports and the economy, and they thought, let's have some security over there. And they went on and shamelessly, I can read out the entire chart, but that would not serve the purpose. The very fact is that now Pakistan has very limited time. They have hardly about 5 days. But 30th June, this entire deal of IMF, the entire thing is going to lapse. Now they are still waiting for their $1.2 billion package to come to them. Now will that come in next 5 days? That's again a golden question. Now 9 reviews. Can you imagine 9 reviews? Last week of December, of January, in fact, I would say 30th January to 9th February, I would say to be precise, a 10-member team of IMF had come to Pakistan. They were there on ground. They were not doing anything from a distance, from virtually. They were there physically. Pakistan had a big advantage of actually getting things in their favor. But even they could not convince them when they were physically there, present on ground, how will they end up convincing them virtually? I don't understand. Finally, the IMF team got fed up of Pakistan. They said, okay, we will carry on. We have other work to do. We don't have all day for you guys. So we'll move on and let's do it virtually thereafter. They followed it virtually. Imagine 9 reviews. For example, just to make it easier, if a person scores 1 out of 100 in a subject in college and he gives a paper for revaluation, and the revaluation result, he apply 9 times. No. It cannot be the small marks. So you've got to accept certain things sometime. Now the finance minister, Mr. Dar, again, I don't know if he's bluffing or not, what he said, that the federal government will raise a further Pakistani rupees 215 billion. That is, if you calculate, if you convert it, it comes to about roughly $768 million, if I'm not mistaken. Now in new taxes, and cut rupees 85 billion. Now once again, if I convert that quickly, it comes to around $304 million. In spending, right? So now, as Dr. Sharat Kohli rightly brought out, in spending, what expenditures will they cut? They should cut down on the military, on the training camps that are existing, the terrorist training camps that are existing over there. They should cut down on those investments, not on cutting the stomach of the poor people. Though Mr. Dada said it will not affect the poor, and we all know Pakistan is not a rich country; it's a poor country. So at the end of the day, they should cater for those for the awam of Pakistan as well. Now, as well as a number of other measures to shrink in the fiscal deficit. Now, the finance minister also suggested that rupees 215 billion that the new taxes should come as a result of the talks. What talks? What in the last 3 days they've been begging. They are not call it negotiating with IMF. I would say they've been begging IMF. They have been pleading. They're on the knees to actually, because they have no other choice. China gave them a bailout package recently, fine. But where are the other Gulf countries? Why are there other Islamic nations not helping them out? Who claim to have been their friends? The US. They are giving big statement that they don't have a problem. Shahbaz Sharif gave a statement now that he doesn't have a problem with Mr. Narendra Modi going to US, provided it doesn't affect their relationship. What relationship do they have with US in the first place? It's not Cold War era. I don't know which era he's living in. I don't know which era the Pakistanis live in. The problem with them is this. They do not wake up to the ground reality. They live in a fool's paradise. And they do not do any self-introspection. They are only too busy playing politics. They are too busy in hatred, in their bigoted society. They are too busy in their own thing. And the problem with them is, I will tell you again, the problem is not trying to solve the internal matters. The problem with them lies when they try to peep from the neighbor's window and they are more concerned what's happening in Kashmir, the abrogation of Article 370 and 35 Alpha. They are more concerned about those things. They are more concerned about what's happening in the Iran border, what's happening in the Duran line with Taliban. They are more concerned about that. where their first priority should be to get their economy revived. Because only when you have things good at home can things work well and professionally in normal day life. I'm saying this for everyone to understand. Similarly, when they have in the internal matters in place, they can get the external action in place as well. But no, this country is the dog is going to drown, and they are totally, that's all self-inflicted casualty. I would like to conclude by saying India has taken much more loans than Pakistan and the IMF, but India has repaid back every single penny responsibly. We have not bluffed. We know what our responsibility is. Pakistan, look at this. As Dr. Sharad Kohli rightly, I reinstate what he said. They have been bluffing, and you can fool some people sometimes. You can fool all the people sometimes. You can fool some people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time, and that goes for Pakistan over here.
All right, Major Shah.